You want Claude to reach your GitHub, your Slack, your database. That plumbing is weeks of work. This chapter is about why you mostly don't have to write it. You'll leave knowing what an MCP server and client actually are and the 4 messages that pass between them. Learn MCP on the NBX STUDIO. Forget the jargon for a second and picture a food delivery app. You could partner with every restaurant one at a time, negotiate each menu, handle each payment, arrange each driver. That works, and it's your whole life. Or you plug into a platform that already did all of that, and you get every restaurant at once. MCP is the second one for AI tools. Somebody has already written the GitHub connection, the Slack connection, the Postgres connection, and packaged each as a thing you plug into. That package is called an MCP server, and the part of your app that plugs in is called an MCP client. Those 2 words are the whole vocabulary. It's worth seeing why anyone bothered inventing a protocol, because the answer is a multiplication. Say 4 different apps want tool access: your editor, a chat client, an IDE, a terminal agent, and 4 services worth reaching: GitHub, Slack, Postgres, the file system. Without a standard, every app writes its own version of every connection, so watch what that actually costs. 16 separate integrations, and not one of them is shareable with anybody else. With a standard, it's 4 servers and 4 clients, 8 pieces instead of 16, and the gap widens fast as either side grows. That's the entire economic argument for MCP, and it's why the shape caught on as quickly as it did. So, concretely, here's the shape. Your app opens a connection to a server, and the first thing your app asks is, what can you do? The server answers with a list of tools, each carrying a name and a description. Then when you want one of those tools run, your app calls it by name with arguments, and the server runs the function and hands back the result. That's the entire protocol at this level: a question, a list, a call, a result, which means everything else in this course hangs off those 4 messages. Everything else in this course is detail, hanging off those 4 messages. One thing happens before any of that, and it explains a lot of confusing behavior later. Initialize is the handshake, and it's where both sides declare what they can do. Your client says which optional features it supports, whether it can handle elicitation, for example. The server answers with what it offers: tools, resources, prompts. And the rule that falls out is simple: a server must not send a request the client never said it could handle. So if you build a server that asks for user input and the client never declared elicitation, you don't get an error at that moment. You get a feature that silently never happens. Which is why, when something mysteriously does nothing, the handshake is the first place to look. Straight from the course. Your app wants to read GitHub repositories. With MCP, who writes the GitHub integration? You do, from scratch. Or the MCP server author already did. Have a think, and pause the video if you like a moment. Ready? The server author already did. That's the entire point. You install their server and connect to it the same way you'd install a library rather than rewriting it. 3 lines to keep. An MCP server is somebody else's integration, packaged. An MCP client is the piece of your app that plugs into a server. And the wire between them carries 4 kinds of message, which we'll meet properly next chapter. Next chapter is the most important idea in MCP, and it fits in one question: who's in control?